Hey, what's the deal, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Honey. Welcome back to the channel, you guys. It is your girl, Miss Honey, here for another Queen Sugar review. This is season 6, episode 9, Tossing in the Meadows. This is the second to last episode for this season, and I'm super excited about next week because I'm hoping it's going to answer some questions for me, although the way they kept pushing this narrative that they would have to leave the land, they're going to have to leave the land for a little while, they're going to have to leave the land for a little while, leads me to believe that the land issue won't be resolved next week. And that it's probably going to be a part of next season's storyline. Hopefully. I mean, we still haven't gotten clarity on if there's going to be an actual next season, but okay. Before we get going really good or get down into this thing, remember to go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Remember to comment down below. Also, don't forget, if you're new to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscription. It's free. Subscription button and the notification bell. It's absolutely free to you. Yeah, and I'd be happy to have you. So I'm going to do something different in this episode. If you can guess what that something different is, put it down below. I'm not going to tell you. Let's just get into it, okay? Let's do our titles, first of all. Like I said, this is episode 9. And you guys know over here, I believe that these titles are weaving a story and are part of a poem or, you know, writing of some kind from somewhere. That's just my theory. I've had a lot of theories. I'm not giving up on any of them, though. So let's get started. Episode 1. If you could enter their dreaming and dream with them deeply, you would come back different to a different day, moving so easily through that, or maybe just stay there. They would bloom and welcome you, all those brothers and sisters tossing in the meadow. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I know you can hear it because I can hear it, right? It's a piece of some sort. Still haven't found it yet, but there you have it. So basically, the big deal for this show, for this episode, is that it's Darla's baby shower. And in this episode, we get to see Charlie throw a very elegant baby shower for Darla. And we get to see all of the Borderlones gathering in one space. We always love those gatherings. Still, at the same time, it just wasn't special. It just wasn't special. Like, we have had some shindigs. This was a snooze fest. It was a snooze. I mean, so let's just talk about it really quick. First of all, like I said, Charlie threw the baby shower. It's a very elegant ladies' luncheon type shower. She does it at her house. We see where Charlie is sharing moments with Darla and Nova and Micah during this event, but we don't get to see a Davis at all. And that is the height and the breadth of Charlie. That's it, right? We also get to spend a little bit of time with Micah. Micah gets to spend a little bit of time with Nova, and they get to actually talk. They have not seen each other in a while. He really misses her. She really misses him. They've got a lot in common, maybe even more than they knew at first, right? Because Micah shares that you know, one of the reasons why he's kind of melancholy is because he's got this really, really great friend. He's talking about Isaiah. and he's trying to work out his feelings about Isaiah. And basically, he goes on talking to Nova to describe his crush on Isaiah. I don't know that he identifies it as a crush, but the way he was talking about it, I was like, dude, you got a crush on Isaiah. Like, it's okay. I got a crush on Jill Scott, okay? And Regina King and Erykah Badu, but that's neither here nor there, okay? That's neither here nor there, okay? So it's just a crush, right? Like, he talks about how he likes talking to him. He wants to be with him all the time, and he wants to share everything with him. I was like, God, you got a crush. Do you also want to smell his neck? Because that's a telltale sign of a crush. Yeah. Anyway. And Nova does what Nova does, man. She just encourages him, and she lets him know that he doesn't have to just feel all the feels, Micah. Just feel all the feels. You don't have to box yourself in one way or another. You know what I'm saying? Life is a journey, and we define ourselves as we go through our journey, right? That's truly how you define yourself, not necessarily allow yourself to be put in these boxes, which I think is great advice, except I think she should have told him, but don't lead with your body, right? Because some of you all may know, some of you all may be pure as the driven snow, but others, there are others of us, if that's a legitimate term, out here who regret having jumped in butt first or cooch first without really knowing not only that person, but what we really needed and wanted. You know what I mean? Like, not even knowing ourselves, let alone that person. That's my whole point. And if you hold off on that whole sex thing, I think it just keeps you from getting confused, entangled, you know what I mean? But it was a good talk. It was a good talk. Later on, Micah takes Isaiah some food back to the dorm, and Isaiah's dorm is right across the hall from his, and he leaves him a note, and he hangs the food on the door. He wants to knock on the door. He looks like if Isaiah had opened that door, he would have leapt into his arms and just kissed him down. Like, I missed you so much, babe. Right? He really, really wanted to talk to Isaiah, you know. And it's funny that you fall out with the person that is the person that you talk to about everything. Okay? So it's kind of, I don't know. It's like losing the person that you would talk to if you lost somebody, right? You lost the person that you would talk to. You know, your confidant, your counselor, your comforter, that type of thing. You're falling out with him, and he does seem very lost by it. It was a good Micah moment, right? Prosper and Billy, they went to the baby shower dressed alike. I promise you, when I saw her standing there and he stood next to her, and they both had on blue, I was like, if they don't look like Marilyn McCool and Billy Davis Jr. Y'all remember Marilyn McCool? Put it down below. They look like Marilyn McCool and Billy Davis, okay? Billy's going to be staying for a while, and she's still helping out administratively with the farmers and everything that they got going on. She's still doing research to kind of help them, figure this whole money thing out and all of that. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. Let's talk about Vi. Vi, when we first see Vi, she's resting up, and it does Hollywood's heart good to see her resting up before the baby shower. He's getting texts from Gabriel, and he's enjoying talking with Gabriel and chatting it up with Gabriel. And Aunt Vi feels a type of way. I didn't know you were still talking to Gabriel, and Hollywood doesn't really catch it when she, he doesn't really pick it up when she puts it down. That it was kind of an issue, but not really. because he kind of moved past it, and he was just like, it's not his fault that his mom's. I didn't like the way they talked about the lady. Now, she did try to kiss him, but y'all know all the circumstances around that. Y'all know all the circumstances around that. So to play her out as batty or nutty or crazy, I don't know. I don't know that that's fair. I don't know that that's fair. I don't know. I mean, I don't think she should ever be in their home again, per se. It's not like her and Vi can be good friends behind it, per se. But at the same time, y'all know the girl's situation. Y'all know the girl mental health situation, right? Like, she's been in a state for many, many years, right? So yeah, it's just something that happened. It's unfortunate because it drove a wedge between you guys' relationship, but don't drag the girl. I just don't think that's necessary, and that's just my opinion. Um I tend to be very forgiving, especially when it don't involve Kenya. um we do get to see during the baby shower that Aunt Vi is becoming more and more self-aware. Not only the fact that she doesn't have children, that she's not a mom, but that she cannot provide Hollywood with a child of his own. Every time she sees him with children, and she's hearing conversations about people who, conversations between Darla and Charlie about things that they go through carrying babies and being moms, and only things moms could know. She's feeling the type of way. She leaves that conversation. She goes back into the common space where everybody is, and she sees Hollywood, rough housing with Blue, right? Blue is in this episode, and it just continues to remind her of the one thing she cannot give Hollywood. And I don't know how she's going to reconcile all of this, right? So it's a moment for us with Vi, and it's a reminder that Vi carries a heavy weight. That's a heavy weight that she carries with her, and I think of obviously that's why she's so smothering to everyone else. So mothering. Um, let's see. We do get to see later on in the episode a really, really kind moment after the shower where Vi offers her spare room, which is a really, really great size room, to Ralph Angel and Darla. She offers it to Darla, and she's just very clear that she doesn't want to interfere. She doesn't want to have this takeover spirit. She just would, like for them to stay there. They're welcome to stay there, and she would help with the baby as well. But it's clearly it's their choice. Also, in the same moment, because Charlie and Aunt Vi had been talking, Charlie said, you could optionally stay here because I'm going to be on the road. You guys will have the whole house to yourselves, and Michael's at the dorm. You're welcome to stay here. And it was an emotional thing. Darla was crying, but we really, really enjoyed the way Aunt Vi prefaced her offer. I know some people might feel like it was overkill, but I think she sincerely does regret the wedge that she put between all of them last season. Also, Blue is back. So Blue makes everybody kind of tender-hearted and mushy and warm and cuddly, right? He just invokes that type of spirit, right? Okay, which brings us to Ralph Angel and Darla. They kind of got the house packed up. Then she's sleeping on the floor. That's the best place for her to sleep because she's pregnant. They go to pick Blue up from the airport, and when they get in, it's like old times again. They're measuring Blue on the wall. You know how parents mark their kids off and write their names as they grow. And Blue's grown a little bit. He wants his little sister's height to be on the other side of the door frame. And it's at this moment he notices all the boxes. What's all the boxes? What are we doing with all these boxes? And I was like, okay, genius. The boxes say U-Haul. Okay. Well, Ralph Angel takes him for a walk, and this is the first time this season that I've I got emotional. I usually get emotional all throughout Queen Sugar. But I've not gotten emotional at all this season, which I think speaks to just how disconnected this season has been, right? But I digress. So he goes and he take. I don't know. It's something about Ralph Angel with Blue that always makes me forgive Ralph Angel and love Ralph Angel and remember why I fell in love with the Ralph Angel character, right? Because when he's with Blue, he's his most sincere. When he's with Blue, to me, he's his most dominant. You know what I mean? Most, not dominant. Most, it's not submissive. That seems inappropriate. Um, I don't know. He's just softer. He's more vulnerable, I think. That's what I mean to say when he's with Blue. And he does a great job telling Blue about what's going on. And he completely confesses up to Blue about why it's happening, why they're losing the land, why they have to move. It's because he made a poor decision. The same poor decision that he made at the start of this series. And he and Blue kind of recant that. Kenya was there. Kenya saw everything. And if Kenya had been allowed to live, okay, she could have testified. Mm-hmm. 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 But Ralph Angel is great in this moment. He takes complete responsibility, not just about leaving Blue in the beginning to go across the street and rob the liquor store, but just taking accountability for what he did to lose the land, to have to move off of the land. And Blue, like all of us, is devastated. Blue is more devastated than anybody else. Any of the other borderlines, Blue borderline is more devastated, right? Because I'm sickened by the fact that they lost this land, right? Um, anyway, it was such a good moment, and it was very emotional for me. It was very, very emotional for me when Ralph Angel said I did something. I was desperate, and because I was desperate, and we have to leave the land for a while, right? Like I said, through this whole episode, he kept saying, leave the land for a while till we figure out what to do about the land. So this leads me to believe that the whole land issue is going to be hashed out next season. I could be wrong. We got so many clips in the preview for next episode that it could happen next episode. It's going to be like 50 million things that happen in the next episode, which I think, considering how snoozy this episode was, I'm talking about like, okay, they could have started the ball rolling in this episode, but it's fine, whatever. um Darla did a beautiful, beautiful thank you to everyone at the baby shower, and then she went one by one with all the borderlines and Hollywood, to tell them, how much they meant to her individually, and just to lift them up. Everybody except Micah and Ralph Angel, obviously. She went and she had some kind words. But when she got to Hollywood, I was like, don't do this, Darla. Don't do this. When she got to Hollywood, she said, you kept coming after me. You chased me down and saved me from myself. I was like, they almost got me. But it was the Ralph Angel and Blue scene that caused me to really well up. But Darla, you a close, close second with that Hollywood tribute. It was super, super nice, very emotional. Then during the baby shower, we get to see Ralph Angel talking to some of the other farmers about an idea to start a co-op. Now, of all people to start a co-op with, these farmers, they're chronic complainers, right? This scene was weird. It was a weird setup. It started out like kind of like belly aching or just kind of commiserating about how we're treated and how we're, um, um, diminished and minimized, and as a people, and all of this stuff. And it leads Ralph Angel into this conversation about a co-op, which means pooling all of the money that they got, through the lawsuit, pooling all of the farmers' money in order to build up the land and buy up the land, right? To keep the money, um, pool the money to help everyone. And this is where Billy jumped in and said she did some calls back to Chicago. I don't know how people in Chicago can help you with what you got going on down there in Louisiana. Um, but that's fine. We're gonna knit Billy into this thing. Let's do it. Um, yeah. And then there's this Biden Harris black farmer fund or something. Anyway, they're going to work it out where they can pool all the money together. Now, at this moment, Nova's got some very, very important news, but she does not share it. We're going to talk about Nova. So, Ralph Angel lets them know. Everybody was like, "Oh, this sounds like a good idea. This sounds like a good idea." I was like, "What? What? No complaints, no pushback. Oh, okay." Um, and he lets everybody know that it was Darla's idea. You know, um, I was just like, "What, Darla?" She was like, "Just makes sense." I was like, "What?" Okay, no reason for y'all not to have had a job. So, like, it's just whatever. Um, so let's talk about Nova, because this to me was the big part of this episode. It was not expounded upon. And it just kind of teed me off a little bit, because I just feel like we've been doing everything else but doing what we do as board alones, right? Everything else but that, which is why I still say this is a dream sequence, and this show is disconnected. But I digress. So Dominic comes over and brings us some news that we can use. Nova's getting ready for the baby shower, and he tells her he's got the reports back for the bones. And so let's see here. The bones are from the late 1800s. The bones are actually not from one person, but from multiple people, and it speaks to the fact that there was a large community of some sort on that property. She invites him to the baby shower, which he goes to the baby shower. Everyone seems to kind of like him, but I'm still on the fence with you, Dominic. And a little bit, I was feeling like maybe he's okay, because why would he bring her this information? But remember, he works for the police, not the Landrys. We think he works for the police, not the Landrys. So, you know, he would bring the bone stuff to her because, yeah, he's trying to take her down in a different way, in my opinion. So um when she gets to the baby shower with him, she introduces him to everyone, and she gushes over him with Charlie. Nova also had a really great, supportive, and encouraging conversation with Billy. It was nice. Nova's not herself. Nova is weird. Nova is off. You guys, something is off with Rutina Wesley. I'm telling you, in this season, how they wrote it or something. Something is off, right? Nova is coming across real fake to me. Is it me? Is it, what is happening? Oh, I can't shake that feeling. After the shower, they both go back. They have their laptops set up, and he's telling her how he got all of this information from some other colleges that they have a relationship with. Once he was able to narrow down some data and send it to them, they started sending him a bevy of stuff about the land, something about Thibodeau. Evidently, there was a battle or a slaughter or a massacre. There's a mass grave of some sort that's there on that land, and Nova thinks that this could possibly be the type of land that Dominic was talking about in last episode, where the land can be marked as historic and therefore unsellable, unusable, and untakeable, that type of thing, to outside entities, right? And so they're working on just trying to prove this and getting this locked in. Again, she's not told anyone else in her family. When they were having the gathered around and having the co-op conversation, she never mentioned it, right? So they're saving this really key piece of information that we as longtime Queen Sugar fans would enjoy seeing rolled out with detail and with thoughtfulness, right? They're giving it to us in these little snapshots and just kind of broad sweeping the whole thing. And it's infuriating. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so yeah, that's Queen Sugar. That's the height and the breadth of Queen Sugar. That's basically what happened. Darla decided that she wants to stay at Vi's because she thinks it would be really great to have Vi around. I agree. I don't know how that's going to work out because I still feel like they're going to end up with Gabriel in some capacity. I don't know that we'll ever see this Blue again. We didn't get to say goodbye to Blue. We've already said goodbye to Blue. I think we'll see Blue again. We just won't see this Blue, this Blue that we know again. And I'm kind of okay with that. Yeah, that's it. Did y'all think that Billy and Prosper look like Marilyn McCool and Billy Davis? Y'all tell me. Y'all put it down below. Remember, I told you guys when they were going to try and run that road through the land, I told y'all it's something about that land. I knew that it had something to do with things, bodies being buried on there, because this is when Nova was researching her mom's gravesite and her mom's history and the history of the land. I was like, it's no way that that land is not sacred in some sort of way. I just felt like that because it's so much land, right? And it's so much they didn't know about the land. It seemed like a logical conclusion. And we're seeing that kind of play out poorly, but we're still seeing that play out. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this episode. Are you guys excited for next episode? Are you ready for this season to end? I am. I just want us to get some closure, and let's reapproach in season 7 and let's do this thing like we know it can be done. Okay, Ava? All right. Listen, until next time, honeybees. Mwah, mwah, mwah.